Failure to design a cohesive and understandable run of show can turn an otherwise smooth day of touring into a complete nightmare. Hi guys, my name is Alex Weyman. If it's your first time here, I am a full-time tour manager, and creating run of show schedules is something I do basically every single day. Now, when I say run of show, ROS, run of show is essentially the entire day of a music tour. Now, sometimes run of show can refer to just the set times of the night, like when each performer goes on. But in the touring world, we often say run of show to indicate the entirety of the day, which includes all the load-ins, all the load-outs, curfews, etc. And as you can guess, a lot goes on every single day. And as the tour manager, it is my job to create this daily schedule, itinerary, run of show, and communicate it to all relevant parties of where they need to be, when they need to be there, how they need to be there, and so on. So in this video, I'm going to outline a typical run of show and point out a few key items to pay attention to if you are yourself reviewing or perhaps designing your own run of show. Run of shows are essentially meant to be the glue, the fabric of time that hold together a touring day, with all of the important logistical and time-sensitive objects outlined in a way that anyone and everyone can understand and make sense of them. Quick bit of promo, head over to the Final Advance website, which will be linked below, if you want to see more in-depth guides about touring, music industry, event operations, and more. Also, leave a comment if you guys have any questions or comments about run of show or about the music industry or the touring industry, and be sure to follow the channel if you want to see more videos like this. And if you stay until the end of this video, again, yes, this is a bribe, I will share my personal reason why I like to make such high quality run of show schedules and why it has saved me so much stress and made touring so much easier and more enjoyable for me. So stay to the end if you want that sort of personal tip. So the first tip for creating a successful run of show is to pinpoint the performance-related schedule items, things that have to do with the actual performances of the night. Obviously, everyone needs to be on the same page about when bands go on stage. In many cases, artist set times, especially like the headliner set times, will already be confirmed and locked in. So you already know that those things have to happen and have to be included in the run of show because they've been agreed upon with the contractor, with the agent, with management months, perhaps even years before. In some rare cases, there could be slight adjustments to the performer's set times, in which case, again, it's very important to have an updated run of show sheet printed off and posted around the venue so everyone can be on the same page with who goes on at what time. Run of shows are also important for other variables in the performance section of the night. For example, changeovers. How much time does each band need to get on and off stage? This should be a communication that happens with the band well in advance, and everyone should be on the same page with how much time each band gets. Will there be house music or simply silence during the changeovers or the opening doors times? Again, this is something that can be outlined in the run of show, and any venue staff that are in charge of house music can know that this dedicated hour or 15-minute, 30-minute changeover, there should be some house music. There are also fabrication and production elements that may have to get swapped. For example, a banner may have to get swapped out, or a stage riser might have to get moved in. All of these items should be noted and mentioned in the run of show. And specifically, having exact timestamps for when these things need to happen in the run of show will be helpful to literally everybody at the venue. You also need to think about curfews related to the performance, right? What is the actual room curfew? What time does sound have to end? This may dictate if the band or bands want to do any kind of encore. What is the curfew for the green room? How late do people have access to showers? That's huge. If you're on a bus tour and your crew need to shower, you need to clearly communicate to everyone what time we have access to the showers, because the last thing you want is a bus full of unhappy, stinky crew guys. The second tip for building a successful run of show schedule on tour is to build in the full load in and load out schedule. Load ins and load outs take up the majority of the day on the road. And with union laws in place across the country, it's very important that managements are aware, again, artist management, the tour management, venue management, crew management, etc. It's very important that all managements are aware of all time-sensitive load in and load out operations. Specifically, if you are traveling in a tour and you have a large production element, you need to notate how much time it takes to get that element in and out of the venue. And you have to be considerate of that relevant to all the other moving pieces of a load in and load out. Run of show load in, load out schedules should also account for meal breaks so everyone knows when they are, especially when dealing with union labor or union venues. There are going to be very strict limitations about when crew members have to take their lunch breaks. It doesn't make sense to schedule a production drop-off when labor is at lunch, because then your vendor will be stuck at the loading dock waiting for hands, but all the hands will be on a lunch break for the next 35, 40 minutes or whatever. And it's wasted time and perhaps wasted money. So being on top of your run of show with all of the load ins and load outs and all the moving pieces with the crew will help set everyone up for success. Another tip for building a successful run of show on tour is to notate all the arrival times related to traveling crew members. For example, if you are working on a fly date and your production manager is flying in from a different city, it is very helpful for everyone to know what time they are expected to land and get to the venue, because then that could tell certain crew members when or what they can bring into the venue from the bus, or it can tell the venue labor that they need to keep a certain section of the stage vacated for a production element that is yet to be decided upon because the PM isn't there. Traveling needs also relate to artist walkthroughs and sound checks, right? Understanding when an artist is going to come to the venue, especially a headliner, to see the production in full effect. If we have that in the run of show, everyone can be on the same page and know that by 6 o'clock p.m., whatever the time may be, everything needs to be up and running because the artist, the main client, is going to be there and they want to see everything ripping and roaring. The same thing applies to guest artists and support. If there are rehearsals or sound checks scheduled for them, it's important to keep those in the run of show schedule so everyone, the audio engineers, the VJs, the LDs, can be prepared to receive them. It also helps management know that there are going to be people coming to the venue before doors, which in some larger venues, security is obviously a big concern. They need to know these things. The fourth tip for building a successful run of show on tour is to notate all of the guest-related scheduling needs, things that relate to the actual crowd. A very easy example is writing down what time doors are. If doors are before a first artist goes on or before an opening band goes on, it's important for the venue to know that for all the staff so that they can make sure they are ready to receive guests. The last thing you want is to push doors because the venue is not staffed properly because they didn't know that doors were at a certain time. I've had that happen. Another reason for guest-related time issues or time elements on a run of show is when there are things like VIP meet and greets. It can be very important for bands and crew to know that at a certain time, there's going to be a VIP group that comes in and the stage has to be silent because the band does some sort of interactive meet and greet or acoustic set or something, right? So by having that timetable in the run of show schedule, all the bands can know that yes, at this time, we have to make sure we're done with making sound, the stage has to be clear, whatever it is. You got to remember that on tour, there are a lot of people and a lot of crew members and crew and bands and families of bands, partners, etc. And it's difficult to ensure that the message of the day and the schedule of the day gets to everyone. And so by having an extremely robust run of show, posting them up around the venue or sending them out via email to all the relevant parties, you can ensure that everyone is set up for success. And the fifth tip for creating a successful run of show on tour is to format the run of show in a very quick and easy to process way. In most cases, most tour managers or touring personnel who create run of show schedules will have some sort of a template that is very simple. It just has the time of a particular line item, and it has a quick description of what happens. So 10 a.m. load-in starts, 11 a.m. Fabrication arrives, 12 p.m. quick 30-minute lunch break, 1 p.m., so on and so forth. And again, the run of show typically should get posted up around the venue so that everybody there, whether it's crew, band, family, staff, whatever, can see exactly what is supposed to happen at what time throughout the day. And because everyone sees these schedules, they need to be clean, they need to be simple, but they need to be robust and very easy to read. Building a successful run of show schedule is essential to setting up for a successful touring day. Failure to take into account all of the moving pieces that go on can lead to conflicting schedules and a lot of grief for an already high-strung team on the road. If you are in charge of creating a run of show or any kind of schedule for a touring date, you owe it to yourself and to everyone to make it as robust and comprehensive as possible. Now, as promised, my favorite reason for creating highly detailed run of shows is that once the schedule is created, once the run of show, the day sheet is sent out, the actual day of show is just execution, right? Nobody has to worry or spend time worrying about what to do next. Everything is already outlined in this beautiful document that says everything that needs to happen on the hour, half hour, whatever. By having this schedule already created, I've saved myself so much time and headache worrying about what to do next on a tour date. And it gives me now more bandwidth, time, and accessibility to handle the other inevitable fires that will come up or arise during a touring day. So I don't have to worry about the schedule, it's already in place. I can now worry about the new problems that pop up. Thanks for tuning in, guys. That was a quick video about how to build a successful run of show on tour. If I missed anything about creating a run of show or anything to do with the music industry or touring industry, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, etc., please let me know down in the comments. Also, follow the page for more music industry and touring industry content, and check out thefinaladvance.com, which will be linked below, for in-depth, full guides about everything to do with music industry, touring, and so on. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you on the road.